Hi guys, my name is Scot Hildebrand and welcome to my studio. I'm going to give you a tour and show you some of my pieces, and then I'd like to show you my workshop where I get to have fun. So I work with a lot of old radios and clocks and TVs, and I take them apart and I build little miniature diorama scenes inside of them. I light them up and I like to give them motion if I can. There's an old train station, Denver's Union Station. The fun part is just adding as much depth and detail as I can. I like to work with random things, different eras, different time periods. Some things are recognizable and some things aren't, but it just adds more dimension to some of these pieces. And some of the different eras I work in, obviously, here's a 1950s portable TV. Kind of big, but of course in the 50s that was portable. But it made a great vessel to build this little old city block with storefronts. There's a lot of depth to this piece. It's kind of fun to just look back and see where it goes. I love old clocks, especially different eras, different era clocks. The styles from the 20s and the 40s. This is an old 50s, mid-century modern boomerang clock with a little bite to it. No pun intended, or pun intended. Most of my pieces are battery operated, 2 AAA batteries and an on-off switch, but it makes it nice and portable so you can put it anywhere. It's an old bedside radio alarm clock of an old Woolworths with a model of a model train running through it. There's an old roll-top sugar bowl with a night scene. I like to call this Cabin by the Lake. I love to work in different lighting effects, different colored lights, different LED colors. I like to diffuse the lighting if I can. There's a couple of dogs going to get some ice cream. Here's a nice 50s scene, Big Bob's Big Boy. And then in the 80s, who doesn't love the 80s? I never put people in any of my stuff. I like the quaintness of it being empty or vacant. I might put a small animal or nothing at all, but it kind of invokes your memory or your imagination. This is an old sand toy, steam shovel, and it's called As You Wish. So up top is a little wishing well that's been dug, and then of course at the bottom of the bucket that's where all your wishes are. Love the beach, who doesn't? And I also love Airstreams, so it's kind of neat to build these little camping scenes. These little clocks I like to call camping clocks. I'll have a small Airstream or trailer that's going through it. Who didn't have a boombox? We all had one of these. I love underwater scenes as well. Here's a little voltmeter from the 40s with sharks jumping. And then this is an old 35mm slide projector, but I thought it'd make a great little hot dog stand. I love working in bigger vessels as well too. This is an old airplane engine cowling. I call this one bird's eye view. So if you look at it from this angle, this is what I would imagine a bird would see if it was flying over the city. I like to work in scale, like I said before. This is 1 to 1/44, or in the train world, N scale. But it just adds a little more realism if you can get an exact scale. This is an old Atari 2600, one of the first gaming systems. Kind of a fun piece to add some carnival action, old amusement park rides. Sky wheel. And then over here, this is an old drum. It's kind of a layered piece. I thought it'd be kind of fun to do a layered diorama. So up top you've got your moped factory. So you've got mopeds are being built up top here and they're being loaded inside the train. And then if you go down below the ground, there's your subway. The doors are opening and shutting, little tagged graffiti on the side there, and it just keeps going way back. I like to add angles and dimension to my pieces just because it adds more depth and interesting factors to it. I love the whimsical side of adding different random things. For example, here's the sewer, and that's where the alligators live. And then down below again is one more layer, that's where the dinosaur bones are. One more sand toy, kid's toy. This is an old camping toy from the 60s. I just thought it'd be a fun place to bring the wild home. This one's called A Wild Ride. Who doesn't love a donut or 12? And then this is another old camera. 1924 Graflex camera, accordion style. It just had such a long face to it. It was a perfect place to build this little Zeppelin flying through a storm cloud. And then for all my Star Wars fans, this is an old dashboard to a 1957 Chevy, and there is an infinity mirror, so it looks like the road just keeps going. You can see it through there. Here's an old globe, one of my favorite pieces. It's called Opposite Ends of the Earth. So up top there is a little world or a scene, and it looks like the stars are going around you. And then down below there's someone else on the opposite end of the earth. So now I want to show you my studio real quick. Let me flip on a light switch. This is where I cut, assemble, program, solder, and manufacture all of these pieces together to basically come up with a finished piece, a diorama. It's very messy and I apologize, but hey, that's what makes an interesting artist, is method to their madness, so to speak. There's a lot of small pieces and parts that go into it, a lot of screws and nuts and bolts, dowel rods, and just different odds and ends that I've collected over the years that I use. And on this side is where I house all of the old radios, clocks, TVs, spotlights, old kids' toys, you name it. It's a lot of random things. There's spotlights and old fans. There's an old kid's toy refrigerator. There's an old TV. I don't know what it's going to be yet, but the potential is sitting up there. And then here are all the models that I collect. Train models, old toys, old souvenir, things that are broken, but things that will eventually be made into something else. Last thing I want to show you is this girl. This is a piece that I built. Her name is Antoinette. It's an old dress form from the 1940s. Let me flip off the switch here. So she's got a little lightning storm with the umbrella up top. You can hear the thunderclaps. There's an old apartment building up top and an old hotel below. There's a lot of neon and a lot of lighting going on inside. Each room has a different scene, different effects. You go down to the hotel, somebody left their TV on, kind of interesting. There's a elevator that's going up and down and stopping at different floors. Stuff on this other side of the hotel as well too. Kind of a real interesting piece, standalone sculpture. Anyway, I want to thank you guys for taking my tour. My name is Scot Hildebrand. If you're interested in anything or you have any questions, all of this is available. You can click on my link. They'll take you to my website, or email directly, or even Instagram as well too. Look forward to seeing you.